Jake Scissor from Scissor or popularity.com.
Being around for so long now, what do you feel has been your key to success that has helped to sustain you in such a grueling industry?
I mean, who knows if we're succeeding unless even the record comes out. I think that so far it's just been about learning from mistakes and sort of learning to follow your gut and not necessarily do what people just tell you to do or what people want you to do, but sort of, following your own instincts, I think, is the most important thing.
Isn't It Strange is a featured song in the new upcoming Shrek movie.
Yeah.
What is it like having song placement like that when you get that?
I mean, it's cool. We actually wrote that song years ago for Shrek 3, for the closing scene in Shrek 3, and at the last minute they didn't end up using it. It was kind of a bummer, but they got a hold of us, I don't know, about 5 or 6 months ago, and asked us if we still had the song around and if we'd mind them using it in this fourth one, which I was really happy with because we sort of, still had the song from, we never really knew what to do with it because it was sort of made for Shrek, and that was about it. It was very kind of specific to that world. So I'm really happy it got used because I really love the song, but I think it was definitely important that it went to the Shrek movie and kind of nowhere else.
Who or what do you think has shaped you the most throughout this entire experience with the Scissor Sisters?
My mom. I mean, I get so much from my mom as far as she's really sort of taught me growing up how to be kind of a people person and to be able to really communicate with people and sort of make people feel comfortable. And I think that that's translated kind of through the shows. And, we're a pretty friendly band. And, I think I get a lot of that from my mother.
What is the one accomplishment throughout your career so far that you're most proud of?
I can't say most proud of, but definitely really proud of. I got to do aerobics with Jane Fonda a couple weeks ago in Atlanta for World Fitness Day, and that was a lifetime dream come true. It was really amazing.
How would you describe the new album, Nightwork?
I would describe it as a dance record. It's a dance record with a twist. It's still sort of all over the place, but it's still like a blend of electronic and kind of live instruments, and it's a sexual dance record.
Can you pick a couple of highlights about the album that are your favorite and tell us what they mean to you?
I love the closer, Invisible Light. I mean, I love the whole record, but Invisible Light is really an awesome song that I'm just super proud of. There's a song called Sex and Violence towards the end that's really kind of pretty and dark and haunting, and I love that song as well. I think it's a really great track, but I'm really proud of the whole shebang. I love this record so much, and I'm just like, I can play the whole thing for people and just be, stand behind everything. I really love it.
What would you say you've learned about yourself musically and personally throughout the creation of this album?
I think going back to following your gut, we had a whole other record about a year ago that we scrapped, and that was a really hard decision to make, but it was one that I knew I wasn't going to regret once we had a record that I loved. We just had a lot of music that I wasn't too crazy about, or I wasn't quite sure what it was saying. So I think the main thing that I've learned is just listening to sort of that voice, because I don't think, you can't go wrong.
What are your hopes for the album?
My hopes for the album is more along the lines of hopes for the band. I mean, I want this band to have a career, and I want us to kind of be our own unique musical entity. And, I look at the bands, that I grew up with that I love, like the Chili Peppers, or the Banshees, or Nine Inch Nails, or Daft Punk, and these are all bands that, have their own sort of unique world that they've created. And I really want Scissor Sisters to be one of those bands.
Is there one memory in particular that stands out from the album creation process?
We were down in the Bahamas recording some, and it was so much fun. We were having such a great time making the record. And every day, we'd work in the studio all day, and about 5 o'clock, it would be about, 5 or 6. It was kind of, when the sun had started going down a little bit. I would just go down to the beach by myself and sort of swim in the water. It was so beautiful, and it was a really great sensation of kind of, contentment. And that was, sort of one of my favorite memories of making this album is actually just kind of, is that moment.
What would you say is the biggest challenge right now for the band?
Biggest challenge for the band is sort of shaping people's sort of what their preconceived notions of us are. I think there's a lot of, with journalists and media, people have a lot of goodwill for us, which is great. But I think that people can be really dismissive of what we do, and I think that there's a deeper element to the music we make and our performances that a lot of people catch, but people miss as well. And so I really want to shape, I really want people to rethink what their notions of this band is, and I think this record is going to do just that.
How did you know when the album was done? Is it just a feeling you get, or do you actually need someone else's opinion to say, okay, guys, now I think this is actually done?
It's like so. It's a really hard thing. I guess we just really gave ourselves a hard deadline, and we knew that the material was really good. But of course, even up to the last minute, I'm trying to write new songs. There's a song that's on the album that we, wrote sort of in the last week of mixing and production. And, those are always fun ones when the pressure's kind of off and you're just kind of writing a song for fun to see what happens. But it never really feels finished. It never really feels finished. I listen to Master now and there's certain things that I hear and I'm like, whoops, we should have fixed that. Or, but the imperfections are also kind of what makes music special as well.
Are you happy with the success you've achieved, or do you need something more until you're finally satisfied?
I don't think, I never kind of want to be satisfied, but I feel incredibly lucky. I mean, I kind of feel like one of the luckiest guys alive. Like, I get to, make money doing what make a living with, doing what I'm really passionate about. It doesn't feel like work. I really feel like I've somehow gotten kind of a, a get out of jail free card. I mean, I can't imagine, living my life chained to a desk. So I feel, really lucky to be able to do what I do, and also just be able to, when we play live, it's amazing just to pass energy back and forth with people. And so I feel totally lucky. Am I satisfied? No. I don't think I'll ever fully be satisfied. You also look back at what you've done so far, and you're just like, sometimes I can't believe, how wonky things can be.
Do you have anything you'd like to say to the readers of popularity?
Anything to say to the readers? How about this? I heard Vaginal Davis, I went and saw Vaginal Cream Davis perform last night in New York. This amazing, legendary performance artist. And one of her mantras that I love was, there are no victims, only volunteers. And I think that's a fantastic statement.